New Hampshire National Speedway is the location for stop number 19 on the Castrol GTX Cup Series, as we are here today for the running of the Bass Pro Shops 300, as we're set for 45 laps of action on this 1.058 mile racetrack. And here's starting for today's running event. On the pole in the Valvoline Ford, car number 6, Becca Tellier. Her first pole, I believe, this season, and she'll be alongside the winner at Michigan this season, Dylan Young. The number 2 Miller Genuine Draft Ford is alongside. Tellier, by the way, has one of our in-car cameras in today's event. Row 2, a two-time winner this season, Jessica Shelton, number 11, but was her Ford. She's on the inside of the second row. Her wins came at Darlington and Texas, and she'll be alongside car number 25, Jonathan Zorlin, the Kodiak Chevrolet, car 25. Third row has a couple of one-time winners this season. Mike Becker, the winner of Auto Club this season, and STP Pontiac car number 42, or car number 44, excuse me. And the winner at Sonoma this season, Keith Batson, the Texaco Haviland Ford, car number 28. He has our second in-car camera. The fourth row will have Cole Deaver, the GM Goodman Chevrolet car number 3. He is one of the three-time winners this season. He won the season at Riverside, won at Martinsville, and he also won at Atlanta. He'll be alongside Ty Dent in the Pennzoil Pontiac car number 30. Fifth row will have our third in-car camera, Joshua Osborne, the Motorcraft Ford car number 15, and Quentin Moore, the winner at North Wilkesboro this season, the Citgo Ford car number 21. Next row down has Jesse Turner in car 71. He'll be on the inside of the next row, in row 6. And outside of him will be Paul Minnick in the Holic Motorsports Ford, car number 90. Next row down, Raleigh Spurley Tube, car 27, the McDonald's Ford. And beside him will be William Brock, who won Rockingham this season, the Kodak Film Chevrolet, car number 4. Next row down, the man who dominated Dover, Johnny Gardner in the Hooters Ford, car number 7. And Jay Jefferson, number 5, Tide Chevrolet. Next row down has Seth Cullen, number 98, the Bojangles Ford. And number 83, the Purex Detergent Ford of Vince Almarego sits alongside. Next row down, two-time winner season, and is Kyle Matthews in the Meliella Pontiac car number 42. His wins both came on short tracks at Bristol and Richmond. He'll be alongside Nathan Orman, the Jasper Engines Ford, car number 55. Next row down has Preston Plord in car 18, the Interstate Batteries Chevrolet, hoping to do well in front of his home track here at New Hampshire, even though he's from Connecticut. He'll be alongside Mitchell Collins, the man who shocked them all in the Pepsi 400 at Daytona, the Dirt Devil Pontiac, car number 40. He won that race on a dead heat, if you remember. Next row down has Dylan Poteet in car 22, the Maxwell House Ford, and Kat Batson, the Keystone Beer Ford, car number 16. Next row down has another three-time winner this season. It is Charles Sanford in the DuPont Chevrolet car number 24. His wins came at Talladega, the 600 at Charlotte, and also at Pocono. The first race at Pocono, that is. We'll be heading there next on the tour, by the way, for a second stop there. He'll be alongside the Orkin Pest Control Ford car number 9 of Simon Bloomfield. Next row down has Ryan Brommer in 33, the Skull Bandit Chevrolet, and Rob Evans in the Meineke Mufflers Ford, car number 12. Next row down has the Daytona 500 winner, Eli Brighton, of Webestis Ford, car number 8, and number 17, Western Auto Chevrolet of Zach Winkle. Next row down has Jose Mills in number 31, the Mom and Pop's Good Ranch Chevrolet, and number 68, the Country Time Chevrolet, Country Time Ford, car number 68, is TJ Dent. Sorry, I can't talk here today. Next row down has car number 26, the Quaker State Ford of Sky Commons, and he'll be alongside James Henry in 75, the Factory Source of America Ford. Next row down is Zachary Fitzwater in car 52. He lost that heartbreaker down in Daytona in the 400. The Napa Auto Parts Ford, car number 52, and he'll be alongside the Kellogg's Cornflakes Chevrolet car number 14 and Nicholas Wade, and he'll be and then starting shotgun in the field will be Diego Yepes, the number 1 Skull Classic Ford. Again, our in-car cameras today will be carried by Becca Tellier, Keith Batson, and Joshua Osborne. Those three have our in-car cameras in today's event at New Hampshire. Here comes the command to fire the engines for the Bass Pro Shops 300.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
So the field beginning to... So the field takes the roll. So the field rolls through the third and fourth turns here. The pace car's about to duck off corner number 4 here in a minute. Here in a second, I should say. As the field rounds the fourth turn. Getting set for 45 laps of action. The green flag's about to wave for the running of the Bass Pro Shops 300. And we are underway here at New Hampshire. This track is 1.058 miles in length and also banked at 12 degrees here, much like tracks like Martinsville, where we had earlier this season. It was also a 12-degree banked racetrack. This track kind of an overgrown version of Martinsville somewhat. It has long straightaways and not so long corners, but it's not really a paperclip shaped track. So it's pretty much a basic 1 mile flat track. What it pretty much is here at New Hampshire. Becca Tellier, whose last win came last season at Richmond, the second race there, is the leader of the race there. That was her only win in season 20. Looking for her first season 21 victory. Dylan Young, though, on the other hand, looking for his second win in season 21. He won at Michigan in the Miller Genuine Draft Ford. Jonathan Sorlin runs third. Fourth is Jessica Shelton, who currently sits third in the standings coming into this event, having yet another strong season for the Budweiser for the lady from South Carolina. And you're riding with Keith Batson, car 28, the man from the state of Maine. Riding in 5th position at the moment. Batson's been kind of hit and miss somewhat this season. He did win, as I said, at Sonoma. Dominated that event at Sonoma. His only win this season that came on a road course of all places. Batson, an avid short trackers, and this also could be considered his home track as well. And of course, it actually has 2 home tracks. This one here, and also the New England Dragway, which is in nearby Epping, New Hampshire. This track here located in the city of Loudon, New Hampshire, is where it's actually located at. But Batson rides in 5th position at the moment. 6th is Mike Becker. 7th, having a good run in 7th position, is Ty Dent, the number 30 car. He's having a great run so far today. Qualified well in the 8th position. He's already moved up in the 7th place right now. He is in battle for 8th one between Quentin Moore in the 21 and the 3 of Cole Deaver. Deaver comes in this race the points leader and almost and makes contact back with Joshua Osborne in 15. Now Osborne caught up on the high side of the track here as Paul Minnick goes inside on board with Osborne, and he's right behind Deaver. Gets the draft off him and keeps the 10th position. '11th, by the way, is Minnick. 12th position, battling for 12 is William Brock and Jesse Turner, and Riley Spurleytube. Spurleytube, who has had a great qualifying run himself, he qualified 13th for this event. He's running 14th in a moment. And he has got the 5 car of Jay Jefferson right behind him in the 5 machine. He had a good string of runs going on until a crash at Michigan stopped that. And then had a not bad run at Daytona. Of course, Daytona's a crapshoot anyway, but it's still. But right now, Spurleytube's on the high side, Turner's on the inside, and he's got Seth Cole behind him, and also bringing Johnny Gardner with him in the 7 and the 42 of Kyle Matthews, who has got us another surprise back there. That is Vince Almarego in the 83 car. Running right now in 19th position. Right behind him is Nathan Ormond in 20th in the Jasper Engines Ford. And several cars there still. And whoa! Gardner and Jefferson about locked bumpers going into turn number 1. That would have been a serious no-no right there, because If they would have bumpers going into turn number one, then Gardner would have possibly sent Jefferson to a spin out. But Gardner did think better of it. He gets Jefferson loose going through the third and fourth turns now. Gardner moves inside. See what positions that's for right there. Jefferson currently right now holding down the 16th position. Gardner 17th, and Matthews is 18th right now. Matthews, of course, the defending series champion. Only 2 wins this season. As I said, both of them would come on short tracks at Richmond, the third race of the season, and he also won the Wreck Fest. He also won the other Wreck Fest at Bristol. Both of them were Wreck Fest races, I would imagine, but Matthews was lucky enough to escape both those races without crashing, and went on to victory in both those races. Meantime, we got a battle going on for that's I think for fourth position. Batson and Shelton going at the 28 and the 11 cars. Shelton on the low side, Batson on the high side. Becker's drafting off Batson while Ty Dent's trying to draft off Shelton. And battle for the lead by trying to develop between Dylan Young and Becca Tellier. Tellier to the high side, Young to the low side. It's bringing some of the others in. Zorlin back there watching all this in third position. He has got the best heat in the house between those three cars. And 25 of Zorlin pushes Tellier to the lead, but Young looks low on the track here. Let's see what happens off the fourth turn. They're going to be side by side at this point of the track, but the draft of Tellier and Zorlin working to their advantage. And Tellier keeps the lead. Young second, and then Zorlin third. Shelton keeps the fourth position now as she holds off Batson for the moment. We're still early on in the race though. 12 of 45 in the books, and we still have 33 laps to go. So several cars dicing for position here in the front. Probably 10, 12 spots. As we watch Riley Spurley tube in the 27th draft off the 90 of Paul Minnick. And meantime, Joshua Osborne tries to get on the inside of Cole Deaver, but nothing doing. Deaver now tries to sneak on the back of on the high side of Quentin Moore. That's Moore in 21, Osborne 15, Deaver in the 3. And meantime, battle for third going on here. Shelton and Dylan Young trying to go at it here. She took a peek to the inside, but Young through the block, and here they come off turn number 2. And meantime, we're riding with Becca Tellier. That's what she likes to see. Nothing out in front of her, and action going on behind the rear view mirror of her Valvoline Ford as she's got the Mark Martin colors out in front here at New Hampshire International Speedway. And now we got problems coming through turns 1 and 2. Somebody got the wall through the first and second corners. And it's Dylan Young. Dylan Young in the 2 has crashed. And damage to the 16 car of Kat Batson. She's crashed as well. And Rob Evans and Charles Samper both on the apron of the track. Evans goes back up the track. Well, no damage done, and he cuts right in front of Samper. And I'm sure Charles not liking that at all. But first caution of the day flies on lap number 16 of the race. And the crash happening as we was watching from Becca Tellier's in-car camera. Let's take a watch and replay here. Young was battling for second place with Jonathan Zorlin in the 25 car. He cuts right in front of Jessica Shelton. Shelton looks inside. She apparently was not pleased with Dylan Young's move. And Shelton just punts Young right into the wall. And so Jess obviously not happy. Only got William Brock got a piece of it. And and Kat Batson, nowhere to go but right into Young's car. Everybody else did a good job missing him. And Diego Yepes, the one car heads up driving on his part, goes up the track and just, I guess you might say in this case, boldness produced fruit in this case for the one car and him and about 20 other drivers, I would imagine. But unfortunately, Becca Tellier, she unfortunately did, not Becca Tellier, but Kat Batson, she got the fuzzy end of that lollipop as well, as did Dylan Young. But Dylan Young, I'm sure, not happy with Shelton for punting him out of the way, but I'm sure if he asked if Jess cares, she probably would say no. So anyway, as Young is sitting on pit road right there, he knows his chances for a top 5 finish or maybe even a win has gone out the window with the Miller Genuine Draft team. Pace car lights are off, and Kat Batson is out of the race in the 16 car, but Shelton does move in the 3rd position right now, behind 2nd place Jonathan Zorlin and leader Becca Tellier, who's led all the way so far. Zorlin 2nd, Shelton 3rd, 4th is Batson, Keith Batson, that is. Ty Dent got running in 5th position. He may be poised for his first top 5 of the season. Becker's in 6th position, Cole Deaver 7th, Quentin Moore 8th, Osborne's 9th, and 10th is Paul Minnick. As the field's about to roll off turn number 4 here. Ford in 1st, Chevy 2nd, Ford in 3rd, Ford in 4th, and Pontiac in positions 5 and 6. Green flag out on lap 21. Tellier got the restart she needed here as Zorlin laid back a bit too much, and Shelton under fire from Keith Batson, but she escapes that battle for the moment. But side by side for 5th place between Mike Becker and Ty Dent. Dent comes off the 4th turn. He keeps the position, and now Becker tries to hold off the challenge of Cole Deaver and Quentin Moore. Meantime, battle for 2nd between Shelton and Zorlin. And Shelton takes 2nd place from Jonathan Zorlin, but Zorlin stays in the back of Shelton's car. And look at him, he's going to try the crossover move. So Zorlin showing some power under the hood of that Rick Hendrick Chevrolet. Chevy on the inside, Ford on the outside. In fact, Ford's got a hookup right there between Shelton and Batson. And Batson pushes Shelton into 2nd place right now. So Fords have positions 1, 2, and 4 at the moment. Maybe 1, 2, and 3 if Batson can get by Zorlin, whose car apparently seems to be falling off pace right there. So he's dropped from 2nd to 4th in about a lap and a half. And meantime, Pontiac battling for 5 and 6 right there. That's Becker in 44, Ty Dent in the 30, Deaver in the 3 car. As he tries to move up with the Earnhardt colors, and now Quentin Moore in the Morgan Shepherd colors in number 21 moves low on Deaver, trying to take position away. Those two have been battling it out for most of the day. As we're actually past halfway home. 23 in the books and 22 to go here at New Hampshire. Meantime, you got the 4 of William Brock and 27 of Riley Spurley-Tube battling for position. Seth Cullen is in this mix. Paul Minnick is in this mix. Jay Jefferson and Jesse Turner. And then you got Kyle Matthews watching all this behind in the 42 car. Matthews running in 16th position ahead of Vince Almarego, Nathan Orman, and Johnny Gardner and Preston Plord. There is Plord right there. He's running 20th at the moment. He's not having the run he's hoping to have in front of his home fans at New Hampshire. Even like I said, even though his home is actually in Connecticut. But anyway, in Connecticut. Preston Plord trying to find a weakness out of the 7 of Johnny Gardner. Good friends off the track, but not so good friends on the track. So I guess you might say, well, the old saying goes, the BS stops and the green flag drops, and those two fighting it out for the moment. Meantime, Kyle Matthews in the 42 car looks low on Jay Jefferson in the 5. And Matthews just sends Jefferson up the track. Just like we saw Shelton and Dylan Young do earlier, except in this case there was no spin out. But Jefferson keeps position and forces Matthews to try again. And meantime, back up on the back bumpers to 71 and Jesse Turner as he tries to find position on Seth Cole. Battle for second place between Jessica Shelton and the 28 Keith Batson. And 25 Zorlin again got the best seat in the house to watch a battle among 3 cars. And Zorlin pushes Shelton back ahead as Batson tries to keep low on the track here. He may have to draft off Ty Dent in the 30 car, but you usually don't hear the term drafting on a 1 mile track much. You might, though, when we go to Pocono next on the tour for the running of the Wix Filters 400 in that race, in which you might hear the drafting being used in that track. And definitely won't be hearing drafting the race after Pocono when we go to Talladega for the Die Hard 500. So Talladega being moved to race 21 on the season instead of being in race 30 or something. So that would be the race before the Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis, which will be the 22nd stop on the tour. But look at this, though. We got Tellier and Shelton going at it there. Battle of the ladies here. Going at it there. Tellier from the state of Maine and Shelton from the state of South Carolina. North versus South. Going at it here. And two finely prepared Fords here. Roush car in front and Junior Johnson's car in second place. And throwing a third fine prepared Ford right there of Keith Batson, Yates piece, but of course he and Becca Tellier both running for a team of KAB Enterprises, which is of course Keith Batson and his Legion of Fords. But Shelton is right up on the back of the 6th car of Becca Tellier as they come through the first and second turns. Tellier has not lost the lead yet, but the way Shelton's trying on her, though, she is going to get a fight. This time by completes lap number 32. We'll have 13 laps to go. Here at New Hampshire, Shelton looks to the inside. Battle for the lead about to develop here between Tellier and Shelton as they go through the first and second turns here. Shelton looks low on the track. Batson, who does he want to go? If you figure he want to go with Tellier, though, since that's his teammate, which he does push Tellier back up ahead of Shelton. But Jess is not giving up in that 11 car. Meantime, Batson on the high side of the track looks for second place. Trying to make it a KB Enterprises 1-2. Batson, high side of the track. Shelton on the low side. They're side by side in turn number 1. This is about for second place. Jonathan Zorlin watching all this from 4th position. 5th is Becker. 6th is Deaver. And here comes Keith Batson for second place as he moves past Shelton. But Jess again not giving up. And this is good news on Becca Tellier's part. She's saying, go ahead and battle back there, guys. I'm going to take off and win this thing. 11 laps to go, and finally Batson pulls ahead. So KB Enterprises first and second here at New Hampshire in the Granite State. This is good news for Keith's team, though, because as I said, Keith is one of the home drivers out of the state of Maine. Off turn number 4 they come. 10 laps to go here in the Bass Pro Shops 300. Average speed so far, 105.86 on the here in this race. There, average speed so far. Fast on the race is being held by Cole Deaver so far at almost 123 miles per hour. So right now, Keith Batson trying to find a move on the 26 car Becca Tellier. Nobody's gave her a challenge all day except for maybe Shelton and maybe Dylan Young. A battle for fourth being involved between Jonathan Sorlin and Mike Becker as Cole Deaver tries to take fifth position away from Becker. Deaver, by the way, the defending race champion here at New Hampshire, may not win this race, though, possibly, unless something happens to the front 5 cars, but still he'll have another solid points day, though. Problem is, though, for Deaver, one of the drivers he's battling for the points lead is up ahead of him. That's Shelton in third spot. And we have started the second half of the season. We started the second half of the season at Daytona during the 400, so we are now we're talking the road to the championship. We're talking road to the championship weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. And here comes a battle for fourth position between Zorlin and Becker once again. Mike Becker, who won down at Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California, he is battling for position. In the meantime, Ty Dent looks low on Cole Deaver. That's for 6th place. Quentin Moore trying to push him, and here comes Dent, just going to have to try to get a push off Becker's car. Deaver has no help. Yellow flag flies again here at New Hampshire. And it's Charles Sanford in the 24 car that's crashed. He got crashed on pit road. TJ Dent and Zach Winkle has crashed on pit road. This happening on the 39th lap of the race, and we're coming down for 6 laps remaining, and I'm not sure if we'll get this race restarted or not. And I think I saw what happened here. Zach Winkle and Charles Sanford. I think altogether Sanford was running 27th, and he had just hit the wall and caused him to lose a bunch of spots. TJ Dent just turns Zach Winkle right into Sanford's car, and oh my goodness. A bad crash for Zach Winkle in the 17. But yeah, I'm sure he and Sanford's not going to be happy with the 68 car, TJ Dent. Watch the 68 at TJ Dent's car. He gets a good run going to turn number 3. Drives a mile over his head right into the 17 of Zach Winkle's car, and it just turns Winkle right into Sanford's car, spun the 24 around, and then the 17 car hard in a turn 3 wall. He saw the car go up on 2 wheels, but happy landing though nonetheless as he's back on all 4s. Dylan Young, meantime, mowing the grass in at number 2, and already damaged number 2. But the incident didn't end there, because here comes TJ Dent in the pit road. He hits Dylan Young, spins, and forced him back on the racetrack, though I don't think Young spun. Well, looking back on Young. And TJ Dent drives right into the barrels and crashes his car. Now watch Zach Winkle go right into... Now watch Zach Winkle. He'll come in right now. Congratulations, Zach. You just took yourself right out of the race. And meantime, Charles Sanford, he is back on the racetrack here, and I think let's watch. Yeah, TJ Dent just hits Dylan Young in the 2 car, and then fortunately for Dylan, he saved it. He and Sanford still on the racetrack, but Sanford drops to 34th position. But I'm sure not a very happy camper right now is Sanford. But TJ Dent and Zach Winkle both dropped out of the race here. So, with all that said, we're going to get a green-white checkered restart here at New Hampshire National Speedway. Becca Tellier, she started from the pole, has led all laps so far. Can she pull off the perfect race and lead every lap? Well, we'll find out. Not if Keith Batson's got anything to say about that in the 28 card, though. Shelton in third position. She might be in position. Could it be Zorlin? Could it be Becker? Well, we'll find out. Ty Dent's in sixth position, and Deaver seventh. Eighth is Moore. Ninth is Minnick, and 10th is Osborne. Is the green flag about to fly? On lap 44, 2 laps to go. And here comes Zorlin to the inside of Shelton for third spot. Got the push from the 44 of Mike Becker. Off the second turn they come. Ford's looking to finish 1, 2, 3 at New Hampshire. Batson did not get the start he needed. Tellier got the restart of her life. And off turn number 4 they come. White flag waves for car number 6. Becca Tellier sees the white flag. Keith Batson trying to keep making a KB Enterprises 1-2 finish. If he can keep Jessica Shelton at bay for that second spot. Battle for fifth position going, or battle for sixth position going on between Ty Dent and Cole Deaver. Deaver sends that car deep into the fourth turns now. He appears to pull ahead at the moment where it all counts up front. Car number 6, Becca Tellier, wins the Bass Pro Shops 300 here at New Hampshire. It is Tellier's first victory of the season as she takes home, as she leads from the pole to the podium. Perfect race for her. All 45 laps led. Keith Batson's going to come home second. A great and much needed good run for him. Jessica Shelton, another solid day in third position. Fourth, Jonathan Zorlin. Fifth to Mike Becker. Sixth place will go to Ty Dent as he holds off Cole Deaver. Dent finishes sixth position. Deaver seventh. Eighth will go to Quentin Moore. Ninth to Paul Minnick, and 10th to Joshua Osborne. 98.983 miles per hour, the average speed in this race here today. So 19 races are in the books here this season, and we will have, I think 15 more to go as I said, as we start in this road to the championship, as we start the road to Ford Championship Weekend at Homestead for the 40 EcoBoost 400. But still got a lot of races left to go before that. So we gave it the top 10 already here. 11th place will go to William Brock. 12th, Seth Cole. Raleigh Spurley, 2 another solid day in 13th position. 14th, Jesse Turner. 15th, Jay Jefferson. Vince Almarego comes home 16th. Ryan Brommer 17th. Kyle Matthews, not much of a factor, finishes 18th in this race here today. Could be worse for him, though. 19th, Nathan Orman, and Johnny Gardner comes home 20th. Dylan Poteet, 21st. 22nd place will go to Mitchell Collins. 23rd to Jose Mills. Preston Plore, not quite the day he wanted, though, in front of his New Englander fans, 24th. Simon Bloomfield, 25th. Sky Commons matches his car number in 26th. 27th will go to Eli Bright, 28th Nicholas Wade, 29th Rob Evans, 30th to James Henry. Zachary Fitzwater, 31st. Diego Yepes, 32nd. Dylan Young and Charles Sanford, disappointing days for them. Dylan Young, 33rd. Sanford, 34th. And Charles Sanford came in his race second place in the standings coming into this event. So this is going to be a blow for his chances points-wise. And for this moment at least, though, and Sanford came in this race second place in the standings. Dylan Young came in this race sixth place in the standings. So after Daytona, so this is going to knock him down in the standings a little bit, though. But as I said, still got a long way to go, though, before we get to the championship. Anyway, Zach Winkle 35th and TJ Dent 36th and Cat Basson 37th. Those 3 cars finished out of the race. But Becca Tellier dominates the day here at New Hampshire National Speedway, averaging again almost 99 miles per hour. As we'll head to Pocono next on the tour for the running of the Wix Filters 400. If you like what you see here, be sure to subscribe to the NNSCRA Sports and Gaming channel. We got everything on this channel. We got interests, gaming videos, whatever president of the NNSCRA sponsors for this channel. And please be sure to check out the Last Plus Live series, the Pizza Hut X series, the Coors Light Truck series, and the Hershey's Cup series. Please be sure to check those races out as well on this channel. And also, in full swing. The Skittle Super Speedway Series is also in full swing on this channel from Seth Cole himself. And please be sure to check those results out on this channel as well. And also be sure to check out our other NNSCRA series as well, including the Bulbasaur All-Pro Series from Michael Dorman and the Marvel Studios Cup Series from Levi McIntyre. You have to subscribe to their channels to become part of that team. So anyway, that will do it here today at New Hampshire. Here at International Speedway, we'll head to Pocono next for the tour. And for now, this is James Walsh in the production of the NNSCRA, offline racing at its best. So we'll see you at Pocono.